Supercoach 360.
Mission Supercoach 360.
Supercoach 360 podcast.
Pardon? What? Where are we at? We're at question time, buddy. Actually, yeah, well, we are. But to kick off question time, I've got one which I did have teed up. Here we go. Johnny Renara. He says it's his first time doing drafting because we touched on draft a bit last week. I want to kick off with that. He said, what are your first 10 picks in order? Please and thank you. So I think I asked you guys to do your top 12 because I read things carefully.
All right. Well, I got Cleary number one. I think that's a given. I know a lot of people love Turbo, but did you go Turbo?
No, I didn't.
Nah.
I went for the same reason you went.
Yeah.
The liability.
No,
The
it's just the
points.
gap between first and second there is
Massive, whereas fullbacks, the points difference isn't as huge.
in saying that, I do see the point in going Turbo because when you captain him and he scores 229, you're not getting beat that week.
So number 2 for both of you then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sweet.
Definitely.
Number 3 then?
Well, I'll take those two either way.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
If I had second pick, someone took Nath, I wouldn't be disappointed with getting Turbo or vice versa.
Yep.
So, then I had Paps for the reasons I just mentioned before too. The average in his 80-minute games last year was just phenomenal.
Does that mean you think Paps will average more than Teddy?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I've got Teddy.
Yeah,
You've
I've
got Teddy.
too.
Yeah.
Well, I've got Teddy 4.
All right, and what have you guys got perhaps 4th?
I got Trell and Paps the same.
4,
Same,
5?
same. 4,
What about you,
5.
Guy?
Yeah, I've got Paps 4 and then Grant 5.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that's it. No one's mentioned Grant. Okay, cool.
Yeah, well, I've got Grant down at number 8.
I got him at 7.
7,
Only because
okay.
hooker is so hard to.
So
draft.
5, 6. Have you got Trell at 5? 5 or 6?
I was tossing. I had him at 5 and 10. I don't know, just because of his liability.
All right, fair enough.
He
Well,
can
who
be
you got 5 and
suspended.
6?
Cody Walker, who's not a liability.
Yeah. Got a lot of Tom's logic.
And then Munster. So Walker and Munster there. Either or.
Yeah.
I could take either one. Wouldn't bother me at all.
What about you guys? Everyone on the same page there?
I've got Deefy at 5.
Same. Deefy and Munster.
I got Deefy, then Grant, then Munster.
And is that because of the gap with DF between any other second rower? Like, when he gets on, he can pull hat-tricks, bro.
Ceiling, yeah, he's ceiling.
For a second rower pulling hat-tricks, that's insane.
His ceiling's huge for a big man. I probably should add Grant in front of him, to be honest, but I've got Deefy, Grant, Munster, so... But yeah, I just like Deefy, especially... He's got...
Well, it's just a weapon. That's all you need to say, really.
He's
It's
got 150s in him.
We all-
Huge
yeah.
weapon.
All right, so where are we up to? We've already covered 8, 4, haven't we? So
yeah,
it's
so I
9
got
and 10.
7 Deefy
Yeah.
instead of 6. And then I got 8 Grant. And then 10 I got Trell, who could be up the top. I don't know. I'm torn on Trell.
Yeah.
And
But I
then-
mean, him and Walker would probably be interchangeable between 5 and 10.
Well,
I'd
I've
probably
got
swap
Cody-
them the other way.
I got
Yeah.
Cody Walker up there.
At
Was
10?
that- Yeah, like
Oh, yeah.
10, 9.
So
Yeah.
and Hughes and DCE, just because there's no quality halves really are a long way after them.
That's it, and you really need to be concentrating on getting that with your first pick is like quality spine players. But yeah, halves are few and far in between. So if
I
you can
got
manage to jag one,
Reid, Marnie and Cheese.
yeah, spine players once again. So you think hookers are going to start going before
Like
halves?
I could easily throw Garrick and Toto in
Yeah,
that
I
top
had
12 as well.
Toto was in my 12. I'm so surprised, and I really want to take a step back with Con that Ponga's not in your 12 because he's definitely up in my 12.
Oh, is he in your 12? I don't think we got through to 12. We're not going to, but like just quickly answer
I
the
I
question.
got through 12.
Oh,
You did.
Oh, wow,
So
cool.
do I.
Yeah, no,
I'll
KP,
listen, whatever.
KP's just the inconsistency kills me.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Sweet as. Alrighty, so some other questions we've got there. Have we got any questions on the live tonight, Guy?
Let me do something first.
Fine, you go to the Instagram questions.
No, I'm going to Twitter.
I've got Facebook
Alright,
up.
sweet as. While we're there,
Just-
actually, hold
just
on.
while I got some guys online and shit. Okay. Supercoach, our SD Statsman from Twitter has started his own unlimited group. Guys, there are prizes. So there's already more to be involved in than what we're giving you. So prick your ears up. So the Statsman's unlimited group code is 18 24 16 182416. He's got a few prizes to give away. The 2023 version of the Mega Guide from Supercoach Talk. 2023 version of the Players Guide from the NRL Physio and a Supercoach ring. So, guys, if you want to get heavily involved and win yourself a ring and some of this great gear, get in touch. Oh, you don't have to get in touch with Statsman. Just join the fucking group. There you go. 18, 24, 16.
The professionalism of Burks.
Professionalism.
Bro, it's
Yeah.
bloody 10 o'clock at night.
He said something like that the
Your
other
kids
day.
would want to be in bed, or you're bad parents.
I was doing the editing, and there's something in the Ross video.
No, it was
Ross Man video.
Progressional.
Progressional.
He
Oh,
said
that's right,
professional.
Right, no, that's right. My bad. Sorry.
Well, maybe
Progressionalism.
Progressionalism.
Yeah. So, some questions. You got the Instagram questions there, Bergs? You got some live questions there for us, Guy?
I can go first.
I've got a couple up on Facebook. From an affordability point of view, I'll throw this one to Con. Would it be wise to start Clune and maybe take a hit in points in round one so I can afford both Turbo and Cleary?
No,
Clune an option?
If Cleary's going to be your backup,
Well, no, I think so he can fit Cleary in.
I think if you're going to take a hit, you might as well just take a hit and not even get Clune and just upgrade around him. If you're going to have Cleary from round 2 onwards, or possibly even start the season with.
Just take your AE that week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the assumption that Cleary was out round one, so
Yeah.
you might have to carry him.
All right, well, I got one on Twitter, on Instagram from Keefy.
Yep.
Keith.
Hey, how many minutes do you boys think Lolo's gonna get? In your professional opinions, we know Toddy's
55.
loose, but
Yeah, what I think
50,
and
55.
what I would if I was coach is a lot different, but yeah, probably about 60. I'm hoping.
$1,000,000, you're paying 80 for me, mate.
Oh, at least a good 70 plus, yeah.
Yeah.
But
5-minute rest either side of half time and get out there, mate.
Toddy don't want to hurt him, so he gives him 40 minutes and shit.
Yeah, don't want to hurt him for his longevity, but we just won't use him effectively while he's in his prime. Makes total sense. Good on you, Toddy. You won't be there when he's old anyway.
Yeah, you'd be lucky to get there next year, Toddy. Anyway,
With Cheese now getting off the suspension, this one's from Jared Watson. Would you be looking at him to start at hooker or still run Grant and run Cheese in the back row?
Either or for me.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I just want Cheese in my team, really. I had him even when he was suspended for the first round, so I'm just stoked.
Yep. And Johnny Renara, first time doing draft, and he was asking the first 10, which we've just covered. Have you got any Bergs?
yeah, Mitchy Burner. Mitchy, does Momorowski kick goals for the Chooks this year, boys?
No, I think whoever gets the spot, I think it'll be out of him or Kieran.
Yeah, that would be.
Kieran will probably
kick.
kick if he
No,
gets
Sammy
if
Walker
he's in
goal
front.
kicking.
No, I don't think so.
All right. Again from Mitchy. Which player has made the most money after 6 rounds, you think, boys?
This year,
Yeah.
Oh, good question.
I'm going to go with an Isaac Tago or somewhere along that mould.
Yeah, or maybe Jackson Hastings. If he comes out the block strong and Tigers can actually click, he might have put on some money in the first 6 rounds. But it's got to be someone
Yeah, you
high
gotta remember,
ceiling, cheap price.
with his $350 price tag, his break-evens will be a bit different to Targo's as well.
Yeah.
So the Targo still has that little bit more of a chance to make that bit of money, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, fair call.
I'll take a stab at Ilias for that one, for pure money, mate.
Well, that's a good shout.
Yeah, actually-
Panasini's probably in the conversation.
It's Suwali or whoever picks up the Roosters wing spot too.
Yeah, if Swali gets the wing spot.
If it's a cheapie and they've managed to put on some tries, they could be in for some serious gains cash-wise.
Yep. Got one guy.
Oh, no, I got one.
Oh,
I got the live comments. I've managed to find the live on my phone. Sweet ass. So Dave London's in there. He says, "G'day." Mark Hindle wants us to explain the trades boost. Now, Mark, we obviously haven't played yet either. I mean, I think a lot of us are going to work it out once we get into the season. But from my understanding, buddy, the way it works is you get 2 trades per week as normal, and 5 times throughout the season, you can press a button to do a trade boost and be given an extra trade that round. You can do it once per, like in each round that you do it in. You can do it 5 times in total in the season, so use it wisely. Aside from that, the only other changes to trades this year, I believe, is you get 3 trades during each of the bye rounds instead of there being a super trade round during the international rep round. So good luck, Mark. Johnny Ronara has jumped in the live comments. G'day, buddy. He says Tuolagi is going to Manly too. I think that's the second row from the Tigers. Yeah. So if he ends up at Manly, and especially if they're looking thin in the second row, then...
that'll be next year.
Yeah, all right. Still, might be one to watch over time. Timmy O'Connor says, great to see Guy back on the couch. It is. Good to have him back.
Cheers, Timmy.
Kane Darcy says, thoughts on Latrell Mitchell? Only missed 1 week. Is he worth bringing him from the start with question marks on Puppy not starting? I mean, personally, I'm a yes, exactly.
I'm a maybe.
You're a maybe, so pretty much we're all yeses. Cool. Sean O'Veira, it says, is there somewhere we can check on stats for trial games in Supercoach points they scored? Yes, I do believe the Telly article has done it. I've definitely seen some photos going throughout the groups and stuff like that. And I've definitely seen some scores going around. That's what Brad's been working off and stuff as well. So I'm not entirely sure where they are, but yes, they're definitely going around. Maybe ask in the groups and stuff. Hit up the Supercoach 360 podcast group on Facebook. We'll see if we can put them there. Sean O'Veira again also says Tarpany's looking like he's making my round 1 side, and Brandon Smith can play first round, so he's going to get on him now too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brandon Smith's looking juicy for me as well. Brad Ives is in there. Chris McClelland says as his second row forwards, he's looking at Nakora, Tilly, and Murray. What do you think? He likes Nakora. I know. Look, I love you, Chris, but I'm not sold on Nakora. I know you're a Sharks fan, and I just don't want to hurt your feelings. I hope you guys are in for a good year, and I expect that you guys will be in for a good year, but I don't know if I can jump on Nakora. He's not exactly cheap. He's not like bargain basement, is he?
I don't mind Nakora. He scores tries.
I don't mind him either, but he's just not in that top elite category.
Yeah, that's the issue with him. There's others around the same price that I think will do a bit better.
If we see him get back to his form of a couple of years ago in his breakout year where he's just running off a good half and he's getting some good quality ball and he's just running good lines, like he was good at that, and he was also good at following the play through the line. And you know, keeping up with the half and whoever's actually broken the line and going through and support. If we could see him return to that under Fitzy, then yeah, sweet. But for me, it's watch and act. I'm not jumping on it. Murray, I do like the idea of, but for me personally, too expensive.
All right, I got one from Butts United on Instagram. Number 1 cash cow for 2022 now.
Well, I think we just talked about that with who's going to make the most money.
I think that was over the first 6 weeks.
Yeah, okay, yeah, good point.
Me personally, I think if Ezra Mann can take that spot off fucking Billy Wilders, it's him.
I think Targo, if Targo can jag some attacking stats out of there, I think he could be, because he already looks like he's a worker. He's going to get the run. He's going to do the runs. I mean, let's see if that happens when Toto's back out on the field. But even when Toto was out in the field, he was taking the second run a lot.
Another sneaky one to look at, your boy, Tommy Starling.
No, I think Chris Randall.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What about the quickest bloke in the comp?
Jason Saab.
No, Cooler.
Saab, heaps quicker. He was jogging behind him on the weekend.
Yeah, but he didn't have the ball. You're always quicker without the ball.
He was, I think Saab's got him easily. But yeah, no, I reckon Randall.
Yeah, I like Randall. I mean, I'm jumping on him. So, you got some more there, Guy?
Yep. So I've got one from Nicholas Heffernan.
Oh, wait. Sorry, hold on before we move on. I just noticed Chris McClellan's put in a comment saying Will Kennedy will be the best dollars at fullback. I'll bet you all. Ooh. So he thinks... Well, I mean, I was talking to Chris earlier today, and he does think that Will Kennedy is going to be a little bit of on the sly. He did look good in the trials the other day, and if
he's a good footballer, Will.
And if the spine over there can click together, I know there's a lot of sort of fresh faces, and there's been a lot of change over the last few years at the Sharks. But if they can find a groove, they could put on some points. Maybe not against all the top tier teams, but against the lower 2/3 of the competition, I reckon they can have a field day.
Do you think there's any chance? I personally think it could happen that Kennedy doesn't actually get the fullback spot during the year, and Hines goes back there.
Nah.
I think
only
if Kennedy were to get injured, then they might have to put him back there in case of an emergency. But nah, man, I think Will Kennedy's their future fullback. You know, and he's come through the grades there and stuff, hasn't he? Yeah. Like he's a local junior, and a lot of their team is.
He was their best player by far last year.
Yeah, he was just in a horrible team.
Yeah, but I still think Hines is a better player, and I think Hines is a better one. But
yeah, but if you can utilise both of them in your team instead of just having one in your team in their favoured position, I think you got to do it. Just like at Origin time, you don't just pick Turbo at fullback because he's in the best form at the moment. You pick Teddy because you can use Turbo elsewhere, same as you pick Kennedy at fullback because you can use Nico elsewhere.
Yeah, but then you're leaving out Trindle or a half.
No, you're not. You're leaving out Moylan. Oh no,
See,
what a
boys.
shame.
Nicholas Heffernan, his question was, how many players from one team is too many? I'm keen on Moses, Penasini, Marnie, but there is also a strong case to start with Gutho if Paps is out round one, and if you can't pay up for Turbo.
Now, look, Bergs was talking about it in his things to remember, and that's some of the outside noise. And for me, Gutho is outside noise.
No, Guffo goes on runs.
Look, I know Gutho goes on runs, but Gutho is not super consistent. The Eels attack has a lot of ups and ums and ahs about it, especially with new wingers and stuff. I think it's a gamble personally, and at fullback, I just think you've got 4 sort of clear-cut options who are better. And he's not that much of a stepping stone to get to those blokes. If you've got to use him as a stepping stone, but I'd be almost better off going Tommy, so I'm set, and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to take the gamble on Tommy because he can do that captain, just crazy numbers, and then I'd rather go with a cheapie almost over Gutho. And I know it's a bit of a rough call for Gutho, but
Someone must have turned Juzzy up past the fire button on the toaster because he's pretty cooked. The question was how many players from one team is too many, not about Gutho.
But yeah, I know, but that's where it comes into it. He's considering a bunch of para players, and I can get a bunch of those other players, deal bags and stuff I can get. But I just think if anything, you're cooked for thinking Gutho.
Three? Do you think three though?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I've got the same question with Stormers. I mean, I'm now considering both Storm halves and, front row and hooker, so that's 4. I've had 5 in the past. I think probably 5, 6, but you've only just got to worry about injuries, really.
If they're the team that score points,
yeah, but that's it. If they're performing, they're performing.
You got to remember in years gone by, there's been stages in everyone's team, and you look and they're heavily loaded with certain clubs. Melbourne's a good club to get a couple of spine players from. Roosters is good for their attacking forwards. Parramatta's good for attacking forwards.
Manly, Turbo, Garrick, DCE.
There's.
Yeah, so Nick, in answer to your question, there's no real number. It probably depends on the team.
It's what you're comfortable
and how they're
running.
going.
If they have a shit week and get belted, you're the one. Your 5 players get nothing.
Yeah,
Well,
teams
I'd be also hesitant in the day and age that we live in that if a team gets struck down with COVID and you got 6 players from that team, it's not going to be a good week.
No, because at most you've only got 3 trades to get you out of it, and that completely throws your plans back by a week. Which
that's where playing with Nuff's going to be. With Nuff's on the bench is going to be hard this year too. If you start with Nuff's,
I think you can only do 1 at most.
Yeah, because they could
You're
come
going to
in
need
BAE
every person you need.
Well, not even.
Great.
You just fall short if COVID struck.
Yeah.
Great question from Bradley Baxter. Hines, Sexton, Walker. Which halfback is best take for first few rounds if I can't get to Cleary?
Nico
Walker.
for me.
I'm Walker as well.
What, in a draft?
No.
No. But just if
you
you've
can't
got to
get to
take
Cleary.
it,
One of those 3.
I'd go Hines.
2 Hines, 2 Walkers.
Yeah, look, I'd go Walker just because I think the Roosters have already proven their attack and
Nico
with a bit
kicking
more
goals?
strength.
I think he was on the weekend, yeah.
Nico kick goals there too.
Walker's a chance of kicking though as well.
His own slight chance. They might take that off him. Load up Momorowski, just take a bit of that pressure off
so
of
he can focus on.
If he even gets to start, we don't even know if he's going to get the start yet.
All right, then moving on.
Okay, who is more important to have, Stags or Aiken? And is Payne Haas a set and forget, or are there better options? That's from Crom Stremovic.
I don't think there's better options in the front row. If he realises his potential, he's a monster. We know that he's an absolute beast and he's a weapon. And if the team around him can click, he might even jack some attacking stats because he's just such a beast and he can pump through the line. If they could get him up into a decent position,
he's been better in the shitter team
because he has to do the work.
Him clicks, he might not do as much work.
Yeah, fair call.
Might not have to do as much work. The ball's on offer other places. Don't think he's as much as a must-have as he has been in the past. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I've got no inkling at all to start the season with him.
I'm on Stags over Aiken as well.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I'm on Stags over Aiken. Maybe by the end of the year, But while there's no Tohu Harris, I really like Aiken. Because he'll give you big minutes and score tries. Like, doesn't pass much.
I got Aiken probably slightly ahead too.
Don't get me wrong, I think I'll finish with Stags in my team, especially if Brisbane's good and he's doing what he does.
All right, Dane Gayregger. He says, boys, which one of these 3 for 5'8"? Nicarima, Dillbags, or Kurt Mann?
Bags for
Dill
me.
Dill
Bags.
bags by a mile.
Well, the only thing
That's-
to note, Nicarima and Dillbags are both around the 470 mark, and Kurt Mann's only 380, so you do save a little bit.
No,
Nah.
Kurt Mann's playing 65. I'd go him over both of them, absolutely. But I wouldn't like to start with any of them, really.
I'm liking Dill bags. I think if I'm going to take one risk on Parramatta's attack, it's him.
If he's the same price as Moses, I'd go Moses all day over Dillbags.
Yeah, 40 grand difference or something.
Yeah, I'd go
Right.
Moses.
GR Lust. What do you fellas think about starting with Ramian?
I don't mind it.
He's looking good, man. Like, and he's just if he's your gun centre,
Well, he's a base stat beast.
yeah, that's it. He is.
He's like, what was he, third on your list or second?
Yeah,
on
second,
your
I
list?
think.
He's been
50
popping up
plus.
and consistently working like the last couple of years at the Sharks that I've
Well, only-
noticed. So
Only one man in front of him, and he's 200k dearer.
yeah,
You know, it's a massive. Granted, the points are a massive difference, but
but I mean, who knows? Sharks could click with this whole new lineup and this new look and this new coach. There's a lot of variables there, but the beauty of what I like about Ramian in that side is that you're not taking that risk on attack because he
No.
gets out there and he.
tackle breaker.
That's it.
He does his thing.
All right. I know I was big on him last year, but I'm actually off Ramian this year, boys. I think, same thing back what I thought was thinking on the Marnie lines is I think he's coming off a career year.
That is one of the things
Maybe
that-
Sharks go better, but he... just for a stat, because I actually had it in the article, I actually liked Sione Katoa better at Sharks because they do have a nice draw. But just on Ramian, he was also about 1%. But I just think Katoa had more of a ceiling if you look back through the numbers. Ramian's more consistent. But the thing with Ramian, he averaged about 6 tackle busts a game. And the only players who averaged more tackle busts were Deefy, Teddy, To'o, Turbo, and Rapana. So he's in an elite category there from last year in terms of tackle breaks. And I know he can do it a fair bit. But yeah, I just question whether he can back up last year's performance again this year. So similar to Marnie, I just think I'm a bit worried I'd have him a bit of a risk. And yeah, I don't think he has the ceiling as some of the other centre wins to repay you.
That's the thing. The ceiling's the thing, and it's a massive ceiling with centre wings.
But he doesn't have the ceiling of the some of the other ones. But like Katoa, he out-averaged Katoa by 6 points at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So-
the thing with Katoa, so he played 13 games. One of them was only 23 minutes. So if you take that out in his 12 games, a quarter were 90 or more, and 2 of them were big hundreds.
I get that, but if you with the centre wing, a lot of people played on rotation and match up and shit. So you could miss out on 2, 3, 4 of those
Yeah,
big
Katoa's
scores
can
because
also
you
get
just
it.
didn't play him that week. But with Ramian, you know he's going to make your team every week because you know what you're going to get. And then if the attacking stats come on top, beautiful.
bonus. Yeah, they're virtually 3 points.
Yeah, well, in the past, I've normally always gone down that line with the base stats, but I just think, I'm just more looking at ceilings and who can boost me up in a week rather than just hold steady around the rankings.
All right, just before we move on, doubling back to that question about the numbers, Timmy O'Connor says he thinks he had 6 Panthers for most of last season. I think I'm about right with you there.
Finished highly too, Timmy.
Yeah, Brad Huxley said he had a bunch of Rabbits, Storm and Manly was basically his entire lineup by the end.
Well, he finished one behind Brad.
Yeah. Brad Huxley also said Gutho was king for me last year for an 8-week stretch. And look, that's Bergs' argument. He's got it in him. Fair call. Look, if you pull the trigger and you jump on, then good on you.
Oh, if you can pick the weeks he's on, then you're on. You know.
All right. Dambo Marshagoizi, sorry, just Dambo loves double cheapy hookers, and yeah, he does. Dirty
He
bugger. But Adam Robertson, he's obviously considering it. He wants to know on thoughts on running 2 cheapy hookers. And it's like, look, if that's your game, buddy, that's your game.
It's
Look,
worked.
for me, that's my plan at the moment, unless I pull the trigger on Harry.
Bergs is the opposite. Bergs is 2 premiums, you're 2 cheapies.
Don't get me wrong.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to be spending up front, but I think we're going to see a lot of money get made there this year too, and a lot of points get scored through that position. So
I've gone 2 cheapies at the moment too, but with Brandon Smith in the second row, so if shit hits fan, Brandon Smith just goes up there and I do something with my second row.
yeah, well that's it. That's my goal. Is get Brandon Smith in the back row. Before I get McInnes, I'll wait and look and see McInnes, and then that gives me options there. I've also got Kobe Hetherington in a pinch if I need to, shift one out and just get one playing.
He doesn't look like playing lock.
He started lock on the weekend.
TLC's next week, boys.
No, he started lock. Carrigan
was
started
in the front row.
with Haas.
Yeah.
Carrigan looked good too.
Yeah, Carrigan did look good.
Yeah, he was doing a lot, wasn't he? He was doing a lot of carries. So it's taking some of that pressure off Payne.
Kobe Harrington and Carrigan both are strong contenders for my team right now.
Dambo also quickly wants to know your thoughts on doubling down on the para halves. Do you go Moses and Brown?
You could afford to do it for the first 10 rounds, I reckon. 7 rounds or whatever they've got their good run for.
I think if you did it for that long, by that time, if you had gone to Storm halves instead, you'd be about 400 or 500 points in front.
Yeah, that's my thinking too. If you're going to double down on any halves, I'd be probably doubling down on Panthers or the Storm. And I'm iffy about doing it on the Panthers.
All the Roosters, if you like Walker and Kiri.
Yeah, that's it. Same thing. I'd need to have a look at the Roosters, and then that's 2 trades if I haven't started with both of them.
Save heaps of money on Moiser and fucking...
Yeah, anyway. Right, look. I know you're having a laugh, but Chris has put in here, trust me, on the Will Kennedy thing. Right, look, I mean, I know he loves his Sharkies, but there are some good players over at the Sharkies. I think they're in for a good year. You got a few more there, Guy?
Yeah, so it's a couple more. I'll put a couple. Princey Grubb said Sloan at centre wing, which you already touched on. And Matty Drew said, lads, Kurtman looking juicy, talk me out of it. I think we've already touched on Kurtman as well.
Yeah, that's it.
But one that stood out, Brian Ings, which is the last one to finish it. Thoughts on Cody Nikorima, and Billy Walters, 5'8" hooker duels. Nikorima had 3 big scores last year against his first 3 opponents this year. Any interest?
I just don't know if they're going to make the team or what role they're going to play in the team. I think they both could end up as the 14.
Personally, I think I'd have Albert Kelly. And what Adam Reynolds was kind of saying that, Albert Kelly reminds him a bit of Cody Walker.
Well, he's definitely the most like Cody.
I think that'll help him. But back on the trial form, one that I forgot to mention, Essen Marcellus. Did you boys like him? You know he didn't get to play on the weekend, but do you boys think he's an option at low 300s?
Not for me yet.
I'd want to see he had a bit of an off year last year.
It's just Gold Coast have a really good draw, and like I was looking through my article, and 3 outside backs, you've got Corey Thompson, Greg Marzu, and Brian Kelly, all good options.
Marzu's for me, if anyone from there.
Oh, he's got his big appeal back in his Tigers day when he was a gun was he was offloading like a machine and goal kicking. Now he doesn't do either of them.
Yeah. But I'd probably go Marzu as well. It's just job security.
I'd go Corey Thompson.
I like Corey Thompson, but Marzu's good mould. He brings the ball back. He's solid, but his thing is he doesn't keep his spot. He loses his spot.
Yeah, but Corey Thompson also brings the ball back, but he's elusive and gets line breaks and shit when he does it. Breaks tackles.
Gets hurt. Dang little fella.
What else you got?
That's all the questions on Facebook.
Supercoach 360 podcast.